Welcome back to some special episodes wrapping up the Road to Fuji vlog that I started approximately 6 months ago. I'm actually 3 full days back from Japan now, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about my trip. So, getting to Japan is really exciting. I had a great trip. I actually had a aisle seat from Nashville to LAX, and then I had a window seat from LAX to Narita, which is the one of the Tokyo airports. It's Narita and Haneda. Narita is a little bit farther away, but that was what I got a better deal on for airfare. So the cool thing is, for the long haul flight from LAX to Narita, there was me, a seat, and one more seat. I was on a row of 3. I was in the window. There was a lady on the aisle. Whoever was in the middle either didn't show or the ticket was never bought. So I had plenty of room, and that's fantastic because I am a big guy, and I was actually flying on All Nippon Airways, which is Japanese ran. It was Japanese stewardesses, it was Japanese pilots, and they actually they traveled the coastline all the way up California, over Alaska and all of the isles and islands and everything like that, and then down to the airport outside of Tokyo. It was 11 and a half hours trip, and it seemed like it took forever, really. It was pretty grueling, but I was really happy to be able to spread out. We had to circle the airport because of delays for other flights that were coming in due to the weather. So I guess the runways were backed up or something, and we had to circle for about a half hour before we could land. I was so happy to be there, but I also realized really quick, I thought I had packed really light with one big backpack that was compressible and then a smaller backpack with stuff and my camera. I didn't pack light enough, y'all. Not by a long shot. I should have never brought my camera that I'm filming this on. It's a heavier camera, and it does a great job. But nowadays, your phone and a clip-on lens will do everything that you need it to do. I had a little lav mic that I could hook to the phone. I also had my headphones that I had a microphone on. It did everything that I needed it to do. I should have never hauled this camera across Japan. I was sweating so much before I even left the airport that I had to get a bottle of electrolyte and rehydration drink called Pocari Sweat. I am a hot mess. I've carried these bags all around the airport. I'm about to check in or get on the first of many trains I'll be riding here in Japan. I got a bottle of Pocari Sweat. Sounds delicious, but the label assures me that it is a healthy beverage that smoothly supplies the lost water electrolytes during perspiration. So there's that. I need a shower so bad. So that was interesting and a lot more refreshing than you would think from the name alone. So it did work. It did rehydrate me. It made me feel a lot better, and I really ended up drinking a lot of Pocari Sweat the entire stay that I was there. So I walked the streets of the Tokyo suburbs. I think it's actually the Shinjuku. I think it was Shinjuku suburbs for about an hour before I found my Airbnb. It just due to lack of street lights, and it was down a little kind of a back alley kind of thing. And I passed it a few times and walked all the way around the block, and Google Maps was not quite that accurate. Like, it was about 50 feet off, and that was enough with all the packed homes, you know, back to back and kind of in there. Where I walked right past it. I didn't see it. But the gentleman was really nice, and you know, he spoke almost no English. They have to get a copy of your passport whenever you stay at an Airbnb or a hotel or anything, and that's just a Japanese law. So he took a copy of my passport and gave me my room key, showed me where all the amenities were, and he was gone. And it was fantastic. So that was a great stay. It was a nice little place. I enjoyed the neighborhood. It was really convenient to some convenience stores and a post office and the subway. I think I was about 4 blocks away, really, from the subway, and it took me right into town, wherever I needed to go. So that was cool. You know, that led into my first day. And I started off by taking kind of a leisurely walk. I did hit up the convenience stores, and on the way to the first convenience store, there was a set of vending machines. And I noticed something peculiar that I'm not used to. Normally in vending machines, you're only going to get cold drinks. Well, I saw a sign for hot latte, hot coffee from this vending machine. It was amazing. Now, I found out later that they have them at a lot of the convenience stores, or they call them kombinis. I found out they have a lot of stuff there that is amazing. But yeah, that was my first experience with hot coffee in a bottle from a vending machine. Not one of those paper cup drop and then pour you some crap coffee. Like, it was good. And that's how I started my day. Then I went on to Meiji Jingu Shrine, and it's a Shinto shrine. So it was very serene, and that's not something that I saw from a lot of the other shrines that I went to. More of the Buddhist temples and things like that seemed to be very low key and very serene and peaceful. And even though there could be a lot of people there, things were very quiet. The shrines didn't tend to be that way, except for Meiji Jingu. And it may have been the time of day or the day that I was there, but I found it to be extremely serene and wonderful. They have these huge displays of barrels of sake that different corporations and entities will donate, and you know, it's all up, and it's just a beautiful display there. I ended up getting a little stamp in my booklet for a donation to the shrine. I saw a amulet return box. I can only guess that maybe once a blessed item has run its course, or you feel as though it's doing you harm, you would return it there to be properly disposed of in a spiritual manner. It was just interesting to see. You know, you don't see that at churches and things like that here, at least that I'm aware of. So that was pretty cool. Also, they have a lot of crows in Japan, especially in Tokyo. I mean, a lot. I actually recorded this. At Meiji Jingu Shrine, because it was so quiet, you could hear them calling. And I mean, they were everywhere. Like, they were big bastards too. They would swoop down. They cared nothing for anybody walking past. They were brave. You were in their territory. I mean, it was strange to see crows like that. I don't, in my part of the world, they're not around a lot. I mean, yeah, they exist, but they're not in, you know, great numbers like they are there. So I couldn't hold back my excitement any longer. I was actually in the homeland of Gundam. And so I went ahead and went to Diver City in it's like a man-made island called Odaiba, and it's in Tokyo Bay. And so they have the 1-to-1 scale Unicorn Gundam there. That was so cool to see, and that's one of the shots that I actually did take with this camera, and so that I think that's the last time that I used the camera on the trip. That's how much I regret taking this heavy ass camera. The food court there at the mall where the Gundam Base Tokyo shop is and everything. I had my first taste of gyudon. And it was with noodles, and it's like a shaved beef with this like sweet. It's not a teriyaki sauce, but it's like a sweet stew base kind of thing. And again, not super sweet like teriyaki. It's just it's very mildly sweet, but it's there and it's very apparent. And it is wonderful. it was really good. Oh, and not to forget, like, the saddest thing in the world, especially if you're a Futurama fan like I am. I saw the Hachiko statue. Hachiko, essentially it's the Walking on Sunshine, the dog that followed Fry around in Futurama, and then when Fry left and got frozen for the future, he goes to the pizza shop every single day and waits for him until he dies on the side of the street. I mean, tears, okay? I actually had to take a quick picture and keep walking because I was gonna legitimately like tear up and cry, and I was not comfortable with that. So Hachiko has a similar story where his owner used to come to that same station at Shinjuku, and he would meet him at the station when he got done with work. So he would meet his owner every day, and he was so devoted to his owner that after his owner died, and I think his owner died at work, like just never came home one day. Not that he never, went back to work. He just never came home one day. And because of that, the dog kept coming back to the same spot where he was supposed to meet his owner. And other people tried to take care of him, and he would always come back. And it was a statue because it put into a statue to commemorate him because of how loyal the animal was, and it was really something special to see. I started hearing "I'm Walking on Sunshine," and I almost broke down into damn tears. But yeah, I made it to Gundam Base. I was really excited. I was very inspired. It was really interesting because I don't know a lot of Japanese, but I do know a little bit. I know enough to kind of get the gist of maybe a quarter of the things that was said to me. It was interesting to see, everybody else there. And people with their friends that would come over to the Gundam Base Tokyo shops, and they were talking about things back and forth about Gundams and Gunpla, and you hear Gundam, and you recognize it. And they just like, it's like they mumble through stuff because I don't have an ear for it, and I'm not hearing the word, so it just kind of trails together, Gundamu, and I'm like, oh man, that's cool. Zaku, and Gundam, and things like that. Of course, because I heard Zaku and Gundam, I had to wax intellectual for a moment. So with all this Gundam stuff going around, reminded me of a friend of mine who pronounces Zaku, and just hearing everybody else speaking Japanese about this hobby that we all love, and it just made me think of old Sam Jackson. Gundam, motherfucker. Do you speak it? Yeah. Sixnam Zaku! Woo! Overall, though, it was a good time. I had a pretty good haul coming back from that. I actually didn't get anything that was super, super expensive that was a Gundam Base exclusive. I did end up picking up one kit, though. I went back a little later on, and I picked up that same kit again, and another one that would match it, so I could do a cool, like, mix-match kind of thing. And they were clear variants of the kits. So I mean, not usually into the whole clear plastic stuff, but they're on display, like they're built and on display next to everything. And since it was a limited time offer, and it was brand new, like it had been out I think a week whenever I got there, a brand new limited run quantity, only Gundam Base exclusive. You know, they only had them there. That's all they were gonna put out. I think that it was really cool that I ended up getting it. You know, like I said, it's not a really expensive kit, but its exclusivity meant a lot to me. So that basically brings us to the end of getting to Japan and my first full day. Whew. There's a lot that I packed into that, but I really hope that you're enjoying sharing this experience with me. And I've got like 12 more days in Japan. Yeah. Don't worry. I'm not going to do a play-by-play necessarily of every single day. The biggest stuff I just want to make sure that I share with you guys that, you know, I'm just using this as closure for anybody who was keeping up with the Road to Fuji vlog and, you know, was excited for me to have this trip as much as I was to take the trip. Don't forget to like, subscribe if you're not subscribed, and if you want to see whenever I put out new stuff, hit the bell, because the bell's going to notify you whenever that happens, and you can go ahead and check back in at that time and see what new stuff that I've posted. Until then, daydreamers, I'm Justin, your ragtag daydreamer, and I'll see you next time.